That helps a lot. That'll help. Hey, how are we? Let's get that other thing. All right, I'm going to tell the story here in a minute. All right. Good evening. Haven't been to Uncle D's house in a while, have you? Well, I haven't been here. The doors had been locked. The place was dirty. I got in here. Hold on here. Let's get right before we get rolling here. I guess I can always edit some of that there. But here we are at Uncle D's pad. Let's get this thing, big screen going on here. All right, getting comfortable at Uncle D's. Whew. Anyway, yeah, just getting things cleaned up over here, nice and tidy. As you can see, it little pile of gear here at the Uncle D's corner. As soon as I get organized here, I'll let you know what's been going on. In the meantime, before the masses show up, I opened up a little early, so some of you that might come in a little early get a special, bonus here. Uncle D's super weird and wacky cyberspace. We do get a little weird over here. I had mentioned this before. It's a little bit like going out, after Tectonic. That's my other channel, Tectonic Traveler. You come over here, it's like going on, to the bar or something, after work, or just going over to a friend's house, hanging out a little bit. I'm having coffee, but, you could have the beverage of your choice in the whatever sort of cup that you like to have, or can, bottle, whatever it is. But before that, I'm going to let everybody get popped on here for a minute first. Get organized. Check out the lighting. Get my lighting going. Make sure I didn't do my makeup, so we're not sure how this is going to go, because when it gets dark, sometimes this works pretty well. But we're going to leave it right here, pointed just this direction. I think that'll help. That might help a little bit. Get the glare of the glasses out of there. That's the main thing, is and get the studio light right. It's the glare, I think we're good here. Let's see what we want to use. We want to use the hey, look at that. That's a little better. Evening light. And let's see what the backgrounds are looking like tonight. I think we're going to have to go with that. Get some other photos in here. Just one moment. Let's see what we got here. And boy, do we have some choices tonight. Bear with me there, everybody. I think we've already had the tent one there. Let's see here. Weird and wacky. Let's do this one. Hold on, I'm just throwing a few more photos over here to use. Okay. We're almost ready to go. Background, add a photo. Let's get rid of this one. That one. Let's add this one. Right there. Okay, almost done. Almost done. Got to pick some good ones here. Let's try that one. Big wall up Alaska Range here. Okay, everybody, coming on real soon here. All right. I like that one. Uncle D's weird and wacky. It's going to get weirder and weirder as we go up the big wall here. We're at the bottom of, I don't think that's impressive enough. So I think we're going to go here up to Uncle D's. Getting stranger and stranger and wackier and wackier. Okay, there we go. That's up on one of the glaciers I worked on. All right, I'm over here hanging out, Uncle D's. It's just a real mellow place to be. I love Tectonic. That's where I spend most of my time, 99.9% of the time. But I'm going to start coming over here a little more so I can relax a little bit. I relax over there for sure. That's my life. But this is kind of like after hours stuff. And if you know how YouTube works, if you have a channel like Tectonic, for me, it's a great channel. It's going well. I don't want to flood it with just, a lot of just various things, This channel is going to be just various things and wild and weird stuff, and that's what it's all about. I do have a story to tell while we're here on this one, though. And that's about my biggest thrill this summer. I wouldn't call it a thrill. We're going to find the right photo for this one. This was definitely not a thrill in the way I wanted it to be. We do need the right photo for this one. What the hell? We'll hang out here. There we go. What happened? Yeah, I want some background there, we don't want Gary Wadley. Golly jeepers, man. We don't want him. Hey, all right, here we are hanging out on the Ruth Glacier. Wow, isn't this weird and wacky? Hey, everybody. Hey, I'm going to tell you what happened this summer right now. I did a trip this summer. It was up in the High Sierra. I was bicycling from Sonora, California, Jackson, that area, east over the High Sierra. And it was May, so there was still a chance of snow, which I got. I got hail and snow. I got hammered up there on my bike. Bicycling. Bike touring up over there. Now, on Tectonic, I told this story, but I never told it live like I'm telling now. And I think this will be fun for people to listen to because this one scared the living shit out of me. So, biking up alone. I'm actually up over the pass. It's been 4 days. My cousin dropped me off, and I'm heading up over the pass. And it snowed on me real bad this day, so I'm soaked. The whole bike here, everything that you don't see in the photo was absolutely soaked. And I had to pull over somewhere and dry out. Although it was like almost time to camp, but there was nowhere to camp. So there's a little shed on the side of the road, little shed roof, and this like building that looked like it was a seasonal like restaurant thing, a little cafe, totally closed for the winter. And so I pulled up there under the shed roof and to, get some shelter. Still hailing and raining. And I'm like, oh, man, what am I going to do? I'm totally done. I'm just cold and tired. And I want to get somewhere to set up camp. and go to bed. So it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There's some benches sitting there, and I notice underneath the benches is a little outlet, and that's perfect. And that's really a gold mine for a guy like me. Hey, some power to charge up my power banks, my phone, stuff like that, because I'm up there solo, remote, up in the high Sierra, and I haven't been able to charge up for 4 days, so it's perfect. So I'm charging up. I'm near Kirkwood ski area, near Tahoe, and I'm about a day on a bike ride. And still a days away from Tahoe because it's late in the day. So I'm sitting there and traffic going by, real not very much, and all of a sudden, and it's cloudy and dark. And this big 4-wheel drive truck pulls in and kind of sits there for a minute, and I can't see inside of it. It's kind of cloudy and the lighting's bad, and they're just sitting there, whoever it is. And this guy opens the door and he jumps out and he comes running over. Now they pulled in. They weren't there that long, so I don't know what they were doing. And then they saw me sitting there, and that guy jumped out of his truck and he comes running at me. I'm not kidding you, straight for me, yelling, and I couldn't understand what he was saying. Hey! And he was pulling up his pant leg, and I'm like, done. I'm melting down. I didn't even have time to get to my personal protection, and it's right there. I mean, this is a tip in here. If you're on a trip and you're remote and you're doing things, be close to your stuff. Have it on you. Anyway, whatever it is, your pepper spray, or whatever it is. And I'm just heart attack. Not even time to have a heart attack. And the guy runs up and like, hey, again, he's pulling up his legs. Is that an outlet? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I got to plug in my ankle bracelet. And he had an ankle bracelet on. And he goes, I'm on parole, man. If this thing goes, if this runs out of power and it goes off, they're gonna get whatever. They get notified. The police come, and it's like he's out in the middle of nowhere. And he says, and he's plugged in finally. And I'm like, he's like, thanks, dude. And I unplugged one of my things, and he said, yeah, blah blah blah, on parole. I'm up here fishing with my brother, and they're fishing, but I'm thinking, and I said, what? He said he's fishing at the lake, and I'm thinking to myself, I didn't say anything. The lake's frozen, but they're little places that are kind of opening up. So I'm like thinking to myself, all right, whatever. They're just up hanging out trying to fish, and that's what he was saying at first. So I thought, well, he's either bullshitting me, or they're really up there fishing, but with an ankle bracelet on. And anyway, so I was a little paranoid, but the sun was kind of poking through and things were drying out. And I had a conversation with the guy, told him what I was doing, bike touring, and he was cool. He seemed nice enough and everything. Asked a lot of questions, of course, because why wouldn't you? Everybody always does when I'm bicycle touring. So at this point, then all of a sudden, the back doors of the truck, it's a king cab, they fly open, and these kids come running out and go, hey, what are you? And I guess they were sitting in there on their games or whatever, waiting. And his niece and nephew, the driver is his brother in the truck. So, and the guy waves at me, and they, at least there was kids there, and I kind of like, okay, at least that's felt a little better. I didn't know, how to feel about it. So at this point, I got packed up. I was just talking to him, kind of slowly packing things up, unplugged. And I said, well, I'm going to head down the road, man. And good meeting you. And he, said, hey, good meeting you too. Be careful out there, dude. And I said, okay, yeah, I will. So I'm heading out and headed down the road. And I looked for a place to bail off the road to do my camp, right? Now I never saw them coming. I didn't go long. I went for just long enough to find somewhere to bail, but I picked a place where they wouldn't see my tracks going off the road, and also a place that wouldn't be, obvious, a place for a guy like me to go off the road and camp. I tried to really, because I'm not going to go off a road or a trail or a pool out. And here's the tip I always give people on my other channel is, if it's a pull out or a place somebody else can pull over, don't stop there for the night. Or if you have to stealth camp or get off the road and hide. It's hard to do if there's a cliff or a hill up, especially with all your bike stuff. It's difficult. But there's a place to bail straight out into the woods without being seen. Look for cars first. Figure it out. take the time to figure it out, listen, look, listen for the traffic, and then find the spot first, and then bail in fast. If you got to lay down for a minute with your stuff and listen for traffic again to get kind of orientated, then that's the way to go there. But that's how I do that, and it helps a lot. But anyway, so that guy never showed up. Those people never showed up. So it was pretty wild. Anyway, it was all good. Great tip there. Hey, thanks for coming over and watching, you guys. I'm going to have to head in. It's getting dark. And thanks for coming over to Uncle D's Weird and Wacky.